Hello everyone. Today I'm not doing a long-distance randonneuring event. No, today is 40 miles of fun. This is an overview of one of my favorite rides. Welcome to New York City and the Five Boro Bike Tour. This is my third time participating in this very special event. You would not think that the streets and highways of New York City would ever be closed to motor vehicle traffic to allow bicycles to take over, but once a year, this is exactly what happens. Last time I did this ride, over 30,000 cyclists participated. This year, the number has been capped at 20,000, but that's not the only thing that's a little bit different. Let me explain as we make our way from Staten Island on the Staten Island Ferry to the start in Manhattan. Oh, and by the way, the Staten Island Ferry is always free. The Five Boro Bike Tour was canceled last year due to, yes, you guessed it, the pandemic. Traditionally, this annual tour happens on the first Sunday in May. Due to the uncertainty of how things would be in May, this year's tour was scheduled for August 22nd. But that didn't work out due to hurricane/tropical storm Henri passing through on that weekend. As a result, the event was postponed, and here we are a week later. As you can imagine, closing down traffic on New York City streets, getting permits for access to parks, and coordinating entertainment, food, transportation, and other support is a mammoth logistical task. When you postpone an event in New York City, there's no guarantee that all the venues on the original date will be available on the new date. Some of that was apparent here. For example, we were not able to ride through Central Park, which is one of the signature features of the Five Boro Bike Tour. But that's okay. Bike NYC, the organizers of this event, did a good job to create a fun and safe ride and continue the tradition of the Five Boro Bike Tour. Okay, with that out of the way, let me answer a common question about this ride. Why is it called the Five Boro Bike Tour? That's an easy one. New York City is organized into 5 geographical areas called boroughs: Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, and Staten Island. We'll pass through all of these on our tour of New York City, starting from the southern tip of Manhattan in the financial district. The riders are set off in waves to keep us spaced apart. There are 4 waves, with the first starting at 7:30 a.m. and the last wave starting at 9:20 a.m. I'm in the third wave at 8:45 a.m. Speaking of the start, I think it's time to go. One of the things I love about the Five Boro Bike Tour is the party atmosphere. It's really a celebration of cycling and the city. Throughout the ride, there are musicians serenading the riders and volunteers cheering us on. You have to love this. When do you get to ride down the middle of 6th Avenue with no cars and see landmark buildings from this perspective? Only on the Five Boro Bike Tour. We're approaching Central Park now, but we won't be going through this year for reasons I talked about earlier. We'll head up the west side of the park and into Harlem. The first sprinkles of rain fell here. It was an overcast day, so there was always a possibility of rain. Fortunately, sprinkles were all that fell. Here we are in Harlem, the historic cradle of African American art, music, and culture. This is our last stop in Manhattan. The next borough is the Bronx. Once we cross the Madison Avenue Bridge, we're in the Bronx. We won't be here very long. Soon we'll cross the 3rd Avenue Bridge back into Manhattan. This is the Fdr Drive. It's the highway that runs down the east side of Manhattan. The southbound lanes have been closed to car traffic for us. You can see the northbound traffic on the other side. Beyond that is the East River. We'll travel on the Fdr until we reach the Queensboro Bridge and cross the river. Here we are on the famous Queensboro Bridge, also known as the 59th Street Bridge, and immortalized in the Simon & Garfunkel song. The tan-colored trusses are its distinctive feature, as well as its view of the Roosevelt Island cable tram. You can't really blame people for wanting to take a few souvenir pictures. Welcome to Queens and the Silver Cup Studios sign. Even if you don't recognize the sign, I'm sure you'll know some of the films and TV shows produced here. How about When Harry Met Sally, Do the Right Thing, The Sopranos, Sex and the City, 30 Rock, Ugly Betty, Mr. Robot. I could go on, but you get the picture. It's a world-famous studio and a Queens landmark. This was a first for the Five Boro Bike Tour. Once we reached Astoria Park, we had to walk our bikes through as the entire street was set up as a rest area. It was a good time for a pit stop anyway. Over the Pulaski Bridge is our fourth borough. Welcome to Brooklyn. On the right is Domino Park. It's the former location of the Domino sugar refinery, which operated for more than 120 years. Ahead is the Williamsburg Bridge. Ahead, it's the Manhattan Bridge. Once we pass underneath that, we'll be in the neighborhood known as Dumbo, which stands for Down Under the Manhattan Bridge Overpass. The next bridge is the Brooklyn Bridge. Above this overhang on the left is Brooklyn Bridge Park. It has great views of the city, the river, and of course, the Brooklyn Bridge. We're about to get onto the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway. They've closed the highway for us. We're now on our way to the Verrazano Bridge and the final borough of Staten Island. This is it, the Verrazano Bridge. This bridge connects Brooklyn and Queens to Staten Island. Until 1981, it was the longest suspension bridge in the world. We'll be riding on the lower deck to cross the bay. In normal years, the tour would end immediately after the bridge at Fort Wadsworth. Today, the finish line is at the shopping mall near the Staten Island Ferry Terminal. That's where we started this adventure early this morning.
Welcome to the finish line here at the TD Five Boro Bike Tour. Brought to you by TD Bank.
What a welcome at the finish. Thank you to Bike NYC and all the people and professionals that kept us safe and made this such a pleasant experience. I hope the tour will return to its traditional Dayton route next year, bigger and better than ever. If you're interested in doing this ride or one of the many rides Bike NYC organizes, check their website for more information. I'll put a link in the description. See you next time, and thanks for watching.